your mind directly to you.
Yo, Joe, what's up? Hey. 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 This is Duce, aka Kirakuneos, and I don't know how to preface this. I've not done this in a very long while. Not since my innermost heart was like broken. So I'm gonna try and keep on topic for as long as I could. Like, I thought I would. I used to think, hey, let me actually just write this up. Let me write it out in the script, and let me just make sure I get all the points across. And that's just not how I do things. If I remember it, I'm gonna talk about it, and if I don't, maybe it's better. Those are words that I never said. That's a deep cut for anybody that's been rocking with me for so long. However, let me go ahead and get it out of the way of, this isn't a graduation video, so don't think that. But also, if you clicked on this video thinking this is finally your reason why, you've been misled. And before you decide to do that, just hear me out. The reason I made this video, and the reason why it's called It Doesn't Get Better, is mostly because to your head, it may actually not get better. But in a sense of deciding to live, to keep moving, you at least get to experience more to try and see if it truly does. I know it sounds a little bit weird coming from some stranger online, or if you do know me personally, you know how critical I tend to be on myself. But I'm gonna try and take it from the top for you guys. 2011, 2012, I wanted to end it all. I wanted to no longer exist in this world. I was a fresh college student, beginning my first year of college, and going around through a whole identity crisis and asking people to call me a name that I didn't even truly resonate with. Just trying to fit in and make myself cooler than I thought I was. And those are some good friends that I've made, but something still didn't feel right. But I wasn't telling them to call me Duce, and it was just, it kind of grew from there. But as a freshman in college, living inside of a dorm, away from like everything you used to know, and I lived inside this dorm with like 3 other people, and before even like the first half of the year stopped, they all leave. Now I'm inside this entire dorm by myself. You think that'd be awesome, right? No. I'm an introvert at heart, so you know that was a plus for me, but that was also where the loneliness, the negative thoughts, the inadequacies of my head that's been telling me for all these years leading up to me being 18 in that college dorm, just saying, you shouldn't exist, you know? Oh, by the way, my mic's like over here. You can kind of already tell with the, but but just with your head constantly telling yourself, you shouldn't be in this world. You don't deserve any of this, none of these opportunities. You are just better off gone. On top of that, I mean, I was a naturally negative individual, but it gets worse because I had this one thing that I've always wanted. There's gonna be a train that comes by, and I don't have the proper software to take my voice out. If you've watched my streams, you kind of already don't know this, but it gets worse on me because there was this one thing that I've always wanted in life. I constantly have always asked myself, what's my dream? What is it that I've always desired? Apparently, deep down inside, it's the love of another person that wasn't immediate family. It was something that I personally feel I can never obtain. I've always wanted that form of romantic love that, honestly, the more time goes on and the more I've realized things, it just may not happen for me. And I'm in denial of coming to terms with it, but I understand it is what it is. It's better if someone loves you for who you truly are than what you can make yourself out to be. And people rock with the Duce that isn't in love with them, if that makes sense. There's Duce, and then there's what I just call boyfriend mode. And if I'm crushing on someone, if I really like someone, I am the definition of scaring the hoes, I guess. But that's relevant to what I'm explaining, but it's also not. But basically, I wanted to be in love so badly to the point where I knew I was desperate to accept anybody. This went on even after I survived what I wanted to do. But back then in 2011, 2012, I was trying to get over a recent breakup. That breakup was a long distance relationship. And the more I think about it back then, I'm pretty sure I was being catfished. And that's what happens when you roll the dice. But it hit me really hard, and my friend group that still lived back in the hometown, they would either hear about it a little bit here or there, but I didn't burden them as heavily as I did. I kind of just kept silent about how deep the pain was. The only time that I wasn't truly silent was in my social media posts. With those posts, I was kind of just bearing my heart out, really. And it was so bad to where I believe it was one wintry night. I want to say it was like just as 2012 was starting, like January or February. And the loneliness for once grew too powerful. The heartbreak grew too powerful. The darkness was truly too great for me. And I was just a numb, motionless corpse on the floor of my dorm bedroom, just sobbing my eyes out, just crying. It's the middle of the night. No one could hear me. No one could come for me. And my dorm room for that year was an apartment complex on the 11th floor of a very tall building. And it just so happened that my window could be opened, and my window could also be pushed out into a way. It's hard for me to actually explain it in detail, but it could be pushed out into a way I could just let myself through that window. And if only for a brief second, I could finally learn what it means to fly. My vertigo wasn't holding me back from peering over that windowsill. My fear of heights was gone during that day. I just wanted nothing more than to just cast myself out of that window. It was the day that I just knew, if I do this, I'll finally be free of just all this pressure, all this responsibility, all this fears and thoughts in my head, all the loneliness. Maybe the darkness will disappear, or maybe I can finally let it take me forever. And I peered over it for a moment. I eventually got enough strength to at least sit out of that windowsill for a moment as well. And the way that my dorm was positioned, no one would have saw a thing. The only way anyone would have seen anything would have been the next day, and I just would have been already gone. Been a perfect story. The only thing that would have been left as a note was a song that I recorded back then, and I believe I put it out. It may not be on this channel. I'm not entirely certain, but I did make a song, and it was literally called S Note. So, and I mean, I still battle with some of those thoughts sometimes, but it's not as frequent anymore because I'm gonna get to that part. But basically, as I was just sitting over in that windowsill, just staring down, like, I could do this. I could end everything, and I won't have to worry about anything ever again. No more pressure, no more family issues, no more worries. I could feel like I'm flying, and then I could feel nothing. I could find that freedom I've always been preaching about. I've always been yearning for. But for some reason, when I knew I was ready to just let go, launch off that windowsill, I just kept sitting there. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what was going through my mind anymore. It was probably some past relationship stuff, which was still painful, but I'm pretty sure it was a head empty moment. I just, no thoughts, nothing of that nature. And as I was just sitting there, I don't know what type of force it was. I don't know what hierarchy or what feeling washed over me. But at some point, I know my tears stopped. And I found myself right back on the cold floor of my bedroom. And when I was on that floor, I know my head was calling me a coward that couldn't even do that much to do everyone a service and just erase myself from this world. And for those of you that do know me, especially around that time, 2011, I did have a bit of a warped sense of reality. I still do. And I'm thankful for people to keep me grounded. But I laid there and was just like, if I can't even do this, if I don't truly have a will to live for myself, why not try actually living for others? Because the people that I met in college may not knew this about me, but you know, I was a very negative person throughout high school, really. And there was always just that darkness that only kept growing. And I never really expressed it with anyone. I never really talked about it. I just kept that to myself. But I mean, it kind of bled out in my music taste. Some of the little doodles and drawings that I used to do. But no one on that college campus knew that on that night I was truly going to take myself out of the game. But when I was just laying on that floor after all that build up for nothing to happen, I just ended up, I felt like I was at rock bottom finally. At least, you know, emotionally, life output wise. And when I couldn't even do that, I'm like, I can't live for myself, then I'm gonna try my best to live for others. I know I'll never find the love that I want in this world, so why not I share that love that I desire with everyone I meet? Treat everyone how you want to be treated, right? And once I made that resolution for myself, as time went on, I took baby steps, you know? Very small and slow steps where I tried to listen to others a little bit more. I tried to care about others a little bit more. I tried to be less selfish, and I tried to put myself out there and fight the crippling shyness and fear and questions to myself of, will people accept me or for what I can make myself out to be? Because the one thing that I've always been really good at is just I'm really good at, for a lack of a better word, shape-shifting. Code switching. Depending, I match vibes wherever I am. If the vibes is hostile, then I try not to get involved, but I can match it. If vibes are chill, cool. I'm usually that anyway. If vibes are hype or wild, it'll take me a little bit to build up. Introversion. I mean, yeah, I'm an ambivert, but depends on where you catch me at. But it'll take me a little bit to join in on the action. I'm always trying to be observant. Try not to do anything too unawares. And I just, always try to keep an eye out for my surroundings and see what's the right thing to do, or at the very least, what's considered the normal thing to do with whatever group that I'm in. What's considered the normal thing. So, with a group of weebs, I know I can gush about my favorite, anime stuff. If I'm with fraternities and such like that, I just can stay low key. I knew a little bit about sports then, and I can discuss things here and there. If I was just on my own and some people were talking about a thing I like, I would just either listen in, or they'd notice me and I'd just give a little bit of input, and it extended out into well, I wasn't really in any online communities, but I want to say after 2011 and 2012, when I decided to live the way I currently do, I do know that was when I started streaming. I started streaming in 2013 with League of Legends. I was a League streamer. Sue me. I streamed League of Legends, and then I regularly streamed elsewhere. And those are really good times, honestly. Even though when I used to stream elsewhere and stuff, it was always shirt was off. And Twitch was a better platform, if you ask me then. But with globalization on the rise, and the world in a sense becoming flat, but not in a flat earther sense, but just for all of us to be better connected through the internet, more people got into the medium. So while I wasn't just day in, day out grinding, I just did little things here and there. I started to amass an okay-ish following, and it was really good. Well, it was okay to me. I got over 100 followers, and I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. It's like, wow, yeah, 100 of y'all really want to talk, or come through, see me get my ass beaten elsewhere. Because usually when I did stream, people wanted to do PvP, and I was like, I'm not a PvP person. I'm terrible at this game's PvP. And the only thing I did back then was the aura loops, where she just left you floating, but that's beside the point. I got into streaming. I joined a couple of school clubs. I still kept some connection to my Christianity ties. I know there's a lot of agnostic folks and full atheist folks, and I respect you too. It's all good. I don't bother to be I'm not going to be one of those Christians and be like, well, you don't believe, you're going to, no. That's just not me. It's like, I just say, oh, all right, I understand. I won't talk religion with you, even though there's also some good conversations that come out of that, but and I just moved with the people, moved with the motions. I was truly a shapeshifter in, at Post Masquerade. I may do a fourth cover of that song, I don't know. But one of the college clubs that I joined was a social club that just so happened to run an anime convention. I went to this anime convention the year before I joined the college. It wasn't the reason I went to that college. I went to that college because they had arguably the best Japanese program, and I wanted to ultimately be a Japanese major. Then I found out they didn't have an official Japanese major there, and I was like, I can't afford to study abroad program. I'm running myself into financial ruin just going here because I didn't qualify for like scholarships and stuff like that, and out of my silliness I never truly applied for them. But the school club and an anime convention, and I kind of just joined the meetings there, attended those, crushed hard for one of the presidents. I think for the entire time the both of us was there. Eventually grew the courage to ask them out one summer, and then I immediately went scaring the host mode, and so that never happened. If you guys check out, if you want to know the story with that though, like in full, I already told it on this channel. Check out the Valhalla series. And one of those episodes is where I go into detail about that person, but I still talk to them today, at least. And it's kind of water under the bridge. I still would like to formally apologize to them, but I don't know. But, you know, had a crush on them, had a crush on other folks. Didn't really pursue a lot of them out of like both crippling fear and having like a homie that I started alongside constantly, you know, help tell me what's socially acceptable. Hey, you're being weird, chill out, you know, just pull me back from having a Duce moment, because I came from like having no social knowledge to where I would do something if I needed to learn from a mistake from it, where it's like, fuck it, we'll do it. And throughout these years, you know, learning so much from joining that college club, learning so much from being around these folks, people from my hometown, the people that I met in college, learned so much and met some of the people that I truly like looked up to, be it while I was like recording music, putting it up on SoundCloud, or seeing like contests by like by Shiki, like with the Senpai contest. Meeting him was really fucking cool. Meeting folks like D-Real, knowing folks like the Baltimore gang. I don't know. I'm not sure if they would like to be shouted out like that, but typically, you know, the goddess Desu, the coffee bin. Ben is a hoe, by the way. Heck. Jafar the Jackal, the RPG slime. Hell, Trey fucking Watson. Like, they're all great people. They used to come into our chat and chop it up with all of us. And by all of us, I mean the old team that I always bring up in like songs and stories. I don't like to mention them anymore, obviously, because everyone's going their separate ways. And that's one of the other growing things that I had to learn. People will hate each other, but still like you. And you just have to accept that you can't bring things together like it used to anymore. And that was also one of those lessons that I've learned from watching, like, you know, like the later seasons of Fooly Cooley. People said that was mid, but I feel like I could go on like a video essay and explain to you how Fooly Cooley is just a euphemism of growing up with your times, really. But all these people, all these experiences, and the love that I actually thought I gained after deciding not to erase myself. Ooh. Like, literally in 2012, I had like my first like in-person contact actual relationship. I didn't expect it to happen. It was a longtime friend, but it was also an ex of another friend, and that did make things awkward. But things seem to have been an happy relationship, but that just, as you can see today now, it didn't last. It was their decision. And then I want to say like 5 years after that, 2017, I don't count that as a relationship, but someone showed interest, but it was like all the red flags, and I tried to entertain it. And that left me close to that feeling that I had in 2011. But you see, that feeling in 2011, when I couldn't do it then, I made a promise to myself. I can never try this again. Never ever. So if anybody says that Duce killed himself, I'm just saying, I don't really care about like monetization or any of that. So yeah, if anybody ever says that, that is a lie. The only way that it would have happened is if I truly have fucked up and like there was just like an accident that was out of my control. But willingly doing it, I've resolved to not do that. The one thing I always try and do now is never break a promise that I make. And that leads me up to my point of, even though I didn't do it then, I never had a thought or belief of it gets better. My head always said, you're going to be alone forever. No one's going to love you. In that sense, you know what the fuck I mean. And as time goes by, as more crushes that I have developed and such like that, you know, it does ring true, but there's a lot of people who still, if I didn't exist now, there'd be all these people who I've yet to meet that actually like being around me, that actually likes my energy, that actually loves me for who I am. Sure, it's not romantically, but I definitely take what I can get. And while it'd be nice to meet that person someday, I just understand that it just, for that sense, it doesn't get better. However, the experiences that I've had from like going to anime conventions, playing games, getting into fighting games, getting into VTubing, where I just been in awe with all these creative people, with all these, well, I call them content creators. I still just let people know I'm just a nigga trying to make it. I'm not. I'm not a VTuber in that sense, and I'll be real with you before I can be fake if I can help it. And I know I'm not, one, I'm not brand safe, and two, I'm not exactly but getting into all of these different things, these different avenues and hobbies. Granted, we got injuries and stuff because of them. We got a little more heartbreak out of it because of them. Every here and there are moments where I'm actually happy. I can't say it's truly happy, but I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time, and I forget that the darkness is there. If you want me to tie it to my VTuber lore, since most of my content for the past, since 2021 has been VTuber content, think of the Seraph, the true Seraph, as that darkness within. And if the Seraph takes over me, I will cease to exist. That is, if I let the darkness win. If I become that Seraph, the Duce will be no more. The Kiraku will be no more. So, while it doesn't get better for me inside, things did get a little bit better for me outside. And these words, these videos, me talking about these topics and subjects, I've had 2 people let me know that I helped them not feel the way I felt in 2011. So, I'm happy. Because one of my other goals was help people. So if this VTubing thing works out like that, fuck yeah. Pull up. We have streams whenever the darkness isn't too great, or whenever this house isn't too loud and people are yelling and screaming, i.e. family with issues. But come through to the StarCypher over on Twitch TV at Kirakuneos. I'll just talk about life sometimes, or sometimes I won't talk about life. I'm really reactive when it comes to conversation topics too. So if you want to talk with me, just pull up to chat and be like, I didn't have much of a good day, or hey Duce, what do you think about this, that, or another? If if I can give you some 2 cents, if I can give you some of the words I never said, then I got you, you know? But, yeah. It has been 12 years since I wanted to disappear. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get easier either. But despite it all, I'm still here. And while the time is never certain, I'm gonna do what I can to let you all know that you're always welcome here for another verse. So this is Duce, Kirakuneos, signing off. Sayonara. 2. Oやすみ. 1. It feels weird to do that as a face streamer. As a face, yeah, as a flesh tuber. I don't know. I'ma figure something out. See y'all next time. So yeah, before I close out this video, at the very least, I do at least have like some shout outs, you know? I know I mentioned some of them earlier, but yeah. People that have helped me along the way, you know? All of Senkai. They know who they are, so I don't really need to name them, plus some of them prefer to keep things low-key. But yeah, I'm gonna name them anyway. It's fine. The original 3: Sabato, Koga, myself, and then it slowly extended out from there. Red Roku himself, Fever Pitch, Sloth of a Kind, Sentai Gabriel, and old Cardo Master himself. We just call him Junior for short, because, you know, that's a mouthful. And of course, you know, the Baltimore folks, the Baltimore crew that we kick it with. So yeah, Ben, Des, JP, Trey, Jafar, all y'all. The people that I have also met along the way, you know. D-Real, I kind of always resonated with your music now and try and listen out to whenever you drop stuff. So yeah, we love and appreciate you. As you used to always tell me, that's love. Never really caught on and understood that phrase until I heard it from you. Who else is helping me along the way? Vector Spectre, my local Birmingham FGC. Like meeting y'all after like the heartbreak of watching my old FGC die twice. It's always good to see. Shit. Seeing how a lot of our players are so strong now, you know. Well, they've always been strong, but still. How the homie Nekomata is still navigating through life and learning new shit every day. How Nagato teaches all of us, like, this is the mindset that you need to kind of navigate through just fighting games and the things you should look out for, things that you should learn. Old Giorgio Fiorello coming in from the Troy area and literally helping me achieve one of my dreams is literally I just want to sing a duet with somebody. Literally for years, I've asked people to sing with me, and it was either I hate my voice or I'm too nervous to sing a song, and all I just want to do is sing with people, and I don't care. I don't care how you sound, because like, even if you sound bad, what matters is, did you enjoy yourself? Did you like that? Because if you like that, I love it too. Like, you know, but yeah, thank you for that, for real. Isaac tag Raekwon187 for just kind of being like the true flag bearer for just Birmingham fighting games and stuff, you know. And you know, the whole concept of like respecting those that do come before you, like in the sense of even hip hop, like studying the game, like, you know, with fighting games, that kind of works the same way. I'm doing my best to remember everyone along the way. It's been over a decade. Give me some time, some grace. Meeting friends at conventions. I can't name a lot of you. I truly can't, because, you know, I guess I'll try to name a few. Like, I don't want to dox y'all, but yeah, shouts to Isabel. Meeting you was really fucking cool, even though we live like literally across the nation from each other. Hopefully someday I'm able to actually make it out to a Cali thing and see you again. We got Phoenix. She's mad adorable. She's really passionate and talented at what she does, and I admire her greatly, more than I think I want to. But, you know, we'll be alright. Who else? The homie Ivan. The homie Adam. The homie Eve. Meeting folks like Torin. Meeting folks like Sushi Nap. Folks like Garen. Lily. Scion. Alt. Randomly meeting people like Ryu. People like Bea. The dog and dragon couple. Don't ask how that works. That's a VTuber thing. A couple of people in the that I recently mentioned as well are VTubers. The VFGC as a whole, I still feel like a distant member there, but I like cheering people on. folks like Serena Penguina, Inferno Chim. Y'all need to check out their streams. They're great folks. Real dope with it. The VTuber group that I'm in, the Rough Grounds, you know, led by Driz himself, Ash, Michi, Angel, Jay, Loser every now and again, hence the loser jump scare. Homies like Kevin, Akil, Blue. Granted, I knew Blue before 2011, and he's been my online best friend for like ever, and I really need to pay him a visit someday. We're probably not gonna do anything, but it would just be so cool to actually see him, you know? People like my Final Fantasy 14 FC, when that was basically my personality for like leading up to 2017 and a little bit of 2018-ish. So, you know, the boss Hangi, boss EXO, Rika, I adore her. Sona, a couple of others, but unfortunately their names are escaping me. It's been so long since the FC was active, unfortunately. Trying my best to remember if there's anyone I may have missed out or forgotten. Everyone I met through SOS Brigade. Since I understand that a lot of those folks may definitely prefer their privacy, I'll at least talk about Boss Man and Boss Lady. You know, the con heads themselves. Ray. Shellzor the Destroyer. They did a lot for me, and I try my best to try and do right by them. Evan for just kind of keeping me grounded, you know? I can't mention anyone else's name because, you know, don't need them to really be dragged into it, but thank you, Pat upon you, and also shout out to Shoe Puffs. I have the stupidest crush on them, and I have been told myself I can never tell them. So the folks at NCA for kind of picking me up when I was feeling like a little hopeless for like the position that I work in, that I work with the local anime convention I work with Comic-Con, you know. If it wasn't for like Nega Man showing me if we didn't like chop it up and stuff like that, like shit, things on that end could have just went so much different, so much more south. just know that I value and appreciate all y'all. And I mean, it may go without saying, but I appreciate my my parents for still being here and actually try to listen and understand where I come from when I try and explain to them whatever this darkness is that wants to take me over. And I can't take any like medicine to really make that chill out. But doing what I can to make it work. So if you guys see this, you must have seen it on my birthday. So or you didn't see it on my birthday, but yeah, thank you. I have a hard time staring directly at the camera now. I didn't think that whole anxiety thing kind of got to that point, but yeah, I kind of missed this. Should I really go back to the? Well, I don't have much to talk about anymore with these vlogs, so I'm gonna just end it. See you next time.